All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is your host, DJ Just Jay with Just Dom ZNT. I'm here to tell you guys about a story that I had ran across, and I thought that it was important, especially because we've been talking a lot about funeral homes and things like that. This is not an incident that relates necessarily to a funeral home, but definitely relates to the youth and the violence that we talk about all the time going on in Chicago. Here's the story. Police took steps on Tuesday to stave off retaliatory attacks by street gangs after a Chicago rapper known for taunting rivals on social media was shot in the head in a shootout during a funeral for his friend and a fellow rapper killed earlier in October. 5 others were injured in the Monday afternoon shooting, though none as serious as the 21-year-old rapper whose name is Marvell FBG Wooski Williams. So he goes by the rap name FBG Wooski. Witnesses described hearing around 40 shots as the two groups exchanged gunfire along a 2-block stretch of a busy street in the city's south side. Police are monitoring threats of retaliation posted on Twitter, Facebook, and other social sites after the shooting, and officers plan to hold a community meetings Tuesday night in a bid to ease the tension, Chicago Police Department spokesman Anthony Guglielmi said. "We want to make sure that there are no future attacks of retaliation from either side," he said. He added that the investigation, including into possible motives for the attack, were ongoing and that there have been no arrests. Police did not release Williams' name, but the singer's official Instagram account confirmed he was the one shot in the head. Other media also said it was him. Williams was a friend of the rapper whose funeral was being held in a church next to where the shooting occurred. The shooting happened in the city's Burnside neighborhood, where historic rivals, the Gangster Disciples and the Black Disciples, have a strong presence, according to gang maps published this year by Chicago Crime Commission. Now, Williams sings an aggressive style of homegrown Chicago rap called drill rap, in which rappers disparage other rappers and gangs. These days, police often cite songs and other messages posted on social media as a major factor in gang-related beefs that turn deadly. Williams was in critical condition and undergoing surgery at a local hospital on Monday afternoon, though his condition was later upgraded to stable but serious. A posting on his Instagram said, "Williams is alive and will pull through," which you guys will see that message come across here in just a moment. The other 5 injured Monday were in stable condition with gunshot wounds to their extremities, police said. Monday's shooting was outside the Bethlehem Star Missionary Baptist Church, where the funeral for the rapper Van Trees, Dooski the Man, Chris, so that's his rap name, Dooski the Man, was being held. Police said investigators are looking into any links between the funeral and the shooting. Some of Williams' postings on YouTube and Instagram show him in what they describe as some of Williams' postings on YouTube and Instagram show him in what he describes as opposition gang turf, daring the enemy gang to stop him. His music video for the song Computers Remix similarly challenges perceived foes as he wields a gun and flashes gang signs. The video has drawn several million views. One area resident, Ruth Rivera, who you'll see a video of her. One area resident, Ruth Rivera, told NBC5 News in Chicago that she heard around 40 gunshots. A woman on the scene immediately after the shooting, Cynthia Rainey, told the station that she saw people on the ground bleeding. Mothers crying for their sons, and it was just terrible, she said. It's just heartbreaking. Now, you guys know that I have my thoughts about this thing, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the video first, and I'll give you my thoughts right after. So before I do that, let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage, and we'll go ahead and start. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Developing now, new questions about a shooting today that happened just blocks from a funeral. Police want to know if they're connected. 6 people were hurt. NBC5's Lisa Chavarria is live near 92nd and Cottage Grove with details. Lisa.
Well, Patrick, Cottage Grove is now back open, but this investigation is far from over. We were told that people were attending a funeral for a local rapper who went by the name Dooski, who was killed about 2 weeks ago. Now, shortly after this funeral ended, a hail of gunfire erupted across nearly 2 blocks. Gunfire erupted along South Cottage Grove Avenue near 92nd in broad daylight.
It sounded more or less like at least 40 or 50 gunshots from our backyard.
Neighbors and Chicago police say a funeral was taking place just down the street. Investigators say it's too early to say if the shooting is related, but that it is a part of their investigation. Neighbors are outraged tonight.
This is something that's got to stop on Cottage Grove. Every day there's a shooting on this neighborhood in this block.
Neighbors raced out of their homes, some with towels to attempt to help the wounded, but they say police responded within minutes.
A person laying on the ground being attended to and mothers crying for their sons. It was just terrible, and as a mother, it's just heartbreaking. That's all I can tell you. And I just pray for everyone who's been injured, all families affected.
In all, Chicago police say 6 people were taken to several hospitals. The most severely injured is a man who was shot in the head. He was listed in critical condition at the University of Chicago Medical Center. The others are all said to be stable, with gunshot wounds to their extremities.
As a mother, as a human being, to hear that gunshot like that in the middle of the day, knowing that people are walking down the street, on the bus, driving by in cars that has nothing to do with it, it makes you just afraid at any given time.
Chicago police are now just confirming that another local rapper who was attending the funeral is the person who is in critical condition undergoing surgery tonight at the University of Chicago Medical Center. Police are asking if you have any information about the shooting to call Area South detectives, or you can also leave a tip anonymously by going to cpdtip.com. Reporting live in the Burnside neighborhood, Lisa Chavarria, NBC5 News.
We've learned a little bit more about the victims this afternoon. There were a total of 6 people who were shot outside the church. It was a pandemonium, a scene of pandemonium right after that happened. Many of those people who were shot were leaving a funeral inside the church. 6 of them injured, 4 of them were taken by paramedics to hospitals. 2 of them drove themselves. None of their injuries considered life-threatening at this point. Fortunately, no one inside the daycare was injured.
And we just try to comfort them. I mean, I don't know what else to tell them. We don't know what else to tell them. We just hug them and just tell them it's going to be all right.
Sherry Savage says there is so much gunfire in her neighborhood, the kids at her daycare, 2 to 6 years old, already know to duck when they hear shots. And police say they heard a barrage of shots just after noon. They were coming from across the street at a funeral for a local musician known as Dooski was letting out. His real name is Van Treese Christ. He was killed by gunfire earlier this month. Witnesses today heard a couple of shots at first, apparently fired into the crowd. Then many more, several dozen more shots. Investigators have placed markers indicating where shell casings are located, but so far they have no one in custody.
After the incident happened, I do understand that when the police arrived, it was a very chaotic scene, crime scene extending 2 blocks with shell casings, multiple people shot.
Police say they have not yet determined a motive for this shooting or even whether anyone in specific was targeted. They have just reopened Cottage Grove to traffic as they're wrapping up their investigation here.
6 people are recovering from gunshot wounds tonight after they were all struck leaving a funeral at a church. Well, it sounds shocking. Shootings at funerals are actually on the rise. People who work on a newly formed task force say this one could have been prevented. CBS 2's Chelsea Irving joins us live from police headquarters with more on what's being done to stop this alarming trend. Chelsea.
Erica, investigators here are looking into that shooting today, and at this point, no suspects are in custody. But funerals seem to be a target-rich environment for gang retaliation. And now that they've figured that out, this is happening more and more often.
What we saw today was total savagery in our streets and mayhem. And quite frankly, we must put an end to that.
Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin reacting to today's shooting on Cottage Grove, where more than 50 shots were fired at people exiting the funeral of Vantrease Chris, a little-known rapper also called Dooski Demand.
There was a very chaotic scene, crime scene extending 2 blocks with shell casings.
6 people between the ages of 18 and 27 were hit. They all survived, but one man shot in the head is in critical condition. The Cook County Sheriff's Office says shootings at funerals are on the rise, along with shootings at cemeteries. In February of last year at the Oak Ridge Glen Oak Cemetery in Hillside, a 36-year-old man was shot and killed. These incidents and others led to the formation of the Cook County Funeral and Cemetery Violence Task Force.
No question about it. If there had been some communication and some coordination, of course, we could have prevented that from happening today.
Oh, wow. Guys, I don't mean to pause the video. I've got to stop the video. We've got to stop this BS. I've got to speak and say something right now. First of all, hashtag where the fathers. You've already seen a handful of mothers. You hear about children being out here. You hear about these young dudes out here out just killing each other like it's nothing, shooting indiscriminately into crowds of people and stuff like that. And their response to this, like I said, this is why I really don't like the direction that Chicago is being led in, because there is no accountability. And he's talking about, well, if we would have had more police there, then maybe we could have prevented some of this and that. I'm almost positive. When you have these type of shootings going on constantly, day in and day out, holiday in and holiday out, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter whether they at a cookout or a funeral or at church. It doesn't matter where the hell they at. If they going to the grocery store, to the ice cream truck, to their friend's house, to school. And these are no exaggerations. This is the type of foolery that is going on in Chicago. They are dying because of this one key factor that only Soto Nation, shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor, points out: fatherless homes. Areas that have high rates of fatherless homes, especially in the black community, tend to have outrageous rates of violence. The solution is not to have towels on deck. The solution is not to have safe routes to school. The solution is not to have more police on deck. The solution is not to continue to keep having all these security personnel here and there and everywhere. The solution is not to tighten the reins on the law-abiding citizens for the guns that they own, that they bought and trained for legally. That's not the answer. But everybody wants to keep talking around the fact that, well, you know, it's not true that the black community has the highest rate of violence based on the numbers, and the numbers are wrong and this and that. I've got to tell you guys, I've been listening to these podcasts and these absolute idiots out here telling you guys this mess, and they continue to keep, you know, pushing out their message, and that's their right to push out their message. But I'm telling you, it is the incorrect message to sit there and tell people it's the white man out here doing this and doing that. That's wrong. That's 100% wrong. Tupac said it in a song. If you like to quote, you know, some old school lyrics, Tupac said in a song, they say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. I think that sums up a lot of what's going on, and the mental sickness that's going on with the black community is a lot of what we like to focus on. We advocate for children first, and I'm telling you guys, I think this generation in Chicago is lost. Forget about it. I think it's lost. I don't think you fix it. What I think you do is, going forward, as these women, if they want to actually stop the violence, number one, you need to move. If you're not going to move, then you need to make sure and procreate with people that you're going to get married to. If you're not going to have a family, then you don't need to be having children, because these children clearly need guidance. I've told you guys this before, and I'll tell you guys again why they don't give a damn about shooting each other in the street. This is the reason why. These young boys and these young men shoot each other and killing each other And they're in these gangs and they shoot each other and they kill each other because as boys being raised without fathers in the homes, they see no value in manhood. It takes a man to raise a boy into manhood. When you have a woman doing that, the woman is not going to show the boy his value in his sexuality, in his spirituality, in his physicality. A woman does not understand what it's like to be a man. Only a man can teach you how to be a man. This is a time-tested thing that time has proven to us over and over again, that the only way that our society can be productive is if we do it together as a family unit. When they say it takes a village to raise a family, well, that's what we're talking about. It must start at the base. Everything starts at a base in the home. The foundation of family is the mother and the father. And if these boys don't see value in themselves because they didn't get it from a man that showed them the value that they had, and therefore it was passed on, when they don't have that, then they're not going to see value in themselves. They're going to have very low self-esteem. They're not going to see other value in other men because they don't think that men have any value besides these material things that they continue to keep getting, which is why these are the things that they flaunt, they talk about, and they're proud about. And they're going to turn around and they're going to be jealous. They're going to turn around. They're going to hate very easily. And they're going to turn around and they're going to retaliate and retaliate and retaliate. You stop it here, it's going to go there. You go there, it's going to go over there. You go over there, it's going to go over here. It's not going to stop in Chicago. Doesn't matter how much security force, police, or tracking, or bait trucks, or whatever it is that you want to put out there. Until you fix the mentality of the youth, it's not about sending them to school. It's not about getting them mentors. Get them fathers in the house. How about we try the one thing that we refuse to try? Get fathers in the house. Holler at me after we do that and tell me that I'm wrong once we try that and see that it doesn't work. They're talking about it's a very difficult task. I'm saying it's impossible. You're not going to fix it until you fix the mentality. Thank you guys for coming and joining the show. We'll see what happens. And I really hope that at some point that our message, that what we speak here, that people will understand that it's a message of love. But the ultimate love is showing our children that they matter. That's my 2 cents. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. Sign it off, man. You guys enjoy your day. Be safe. And be responsible with your Second Amendment rights. Talk to you guys later. Peace.